Hey everyone, today I'll be sharing my thoughts on the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro joystick after using it for the past 2 years. I purchased the 3D Pro in March of 2021 and I've used it for games like Star Citizen, Squadrons, Air Missions Hind, Battlefield 4, Arma 3, War Thunder, and IL-2 Sturmovik. Today I'll be talking about price and features, design, build quality, and durability, as well as my experience, and then my overall conclusion and final thoughts after having used this thing for the past 2 years. So let's start with price and features. The Logitech Extreme 3D Pro is currently $29.99 on Amazon, and it typically stays around that price. I got mine for $32.99 way back in March of 2021. Moving on to features, the Logitech 3D Pro joystick has a good variety of buttons and controls that have been very useful in a variety of games. The 12 programmable buttons have come in handy for assigning different functions to different games, and the rapid fire trigger has been great for games where I need to fire off shots quickly. The throttle is also very smooth and responsive, which has been a big plus for flight sims. This leads me to my next point, design and build quality. Everything is laid out very conveniently on the joystick and it's super comfortable to use. The joystick feels solid in the hand and the buttons are well placed and responsive. After 2 years of use, there's no noticeable wear and tear on the buttons or the joystick itself. The base of the joystick is also heavy enough to stay stable during gameplay, even during intense moments where you're basically whacking the thing all over the place. This leads me to my experience. Let's start with why I bought the 3D Pro in the first place. I previously owned the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS, which stands for hands-on throttle and stick, and this set came with a detachable throttle. I ended up really disliking the throttle because it had a notch at 50% input, and the throttle base would move around my desk as I went up and down the input of the throttle, and basically it wasn't smooth and it was really cumbersome to use. I ended up selling it to get the Extreme 3D Pro joystick. And after 2 years of use, I'm happy to say that the Logitech 3D Pro joystick has held up very well. I've used it for tens of hours and it still feels just as good as it did when I first got it. The buttons and controls all still work perfectly, and I've never had any issues with the joystick itself failing to register any of my movements. I've never had any issues with compatibility, though I have had to bind all of my keys and inputs in some games like War Thunder, Arma 3, and IL-2. This can be a pain, but once it's set up properly, it's an absolute blast to use. Overall, I would highly recommend the Logitech 3D Pro joystick to anyone looking for a reliable and well-built joystick for gaming without breaking the bank. It's very inexpensive and it provides great value, especially if you're looking to get into the world of flight sims and you aren't sure if you'll like it. It's been a pleasure to use over the past 2 years and I'm sure I'll continue to use it in the future. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.